this dude's stories. Hang tight. We will be right with you. I had to, man. I had to. The one and only Craig Duswalt is on my show, man. That's unbelievable.
That picture is when Slash and I used to date. Yeah.
That is so funny, man. So you, dude, I don't know that you need an introduction, but let's introduce you. Jeff Hart. Jeff Hart's down there, and I think he's down in Dallas area. That's
all right, neighbor.
Yeah,
my new neighbor.
You're a new Dallas native. Is that the right verbiage? I don't
think I'm a native yet. I'm more like a transplant
from California.
Yes, everyone's moving from California. Come on down, people. Come on down.
Jeff's in Texarkana. Okay. Yeah, that's up the road a piece. So Craig, I created this show about 2.5 years ago to help people have a breakthrough in life, and I know you're all about that. And I like hearing people's stories. I think you may have one of the most unique stories ever told on this show. Actually,
I win.
You win. We'll figure out what the prize is, but so start with like where you were born and raised. By the way, I will be putting you full screen, so you have full screen here and there. But start with where you were born and raised.
Born in Long Island, New York, Deer Park to be exact, in Suffolk County. Back in the early 60s, like the very early 60s, and had a great childhood, played a lot of sports. I was a quarterback in football for a long time. I was on the Chiefs in Little League a lot, and then I coached football for a little while, and I coached the Chiefs. So I'm a Kansas City Chief fan from New York, and I'm happy now. It's been a horrible 40 years or 50 years, but now they look like they're going to be good for a while. Yeah. So played a lot of sports. I was a hockey player. I was tennis, hockey, golf, baseball, basketball, football. I played everything. Then I went to college upstate New York, SUNY Oswego. Had a great time in SUNY Oswego. Had a really, really great upbringing. And then I got out of college, and I was an actor in college. I had a marketing degree, but a theater degree as well. And I wanted to be an actor. So I got a job at the Westbury Music Fair in Long Island right out of college. It's this 3,000 seat in the round theater where a lot of acts come in there, a lot of rock acts, a lot of comedians, a lot of plays, things like that. So I'm working there right out of college in 1983. And so a bunch of The Sound of Music came in for a couple of weeks with Theodore Bickel and Roberta Peters. Rodney Dangerfield came in. He hired me on the side while I was working there to go into the pit and tape his show for him. So that was kind of cool. So I met a lot of people. It was really, really cool. So then Air Supply comes in on a Friday and Saturday night. Friday night, I'm working the show. I'm a runner. I'm working backstage, getting them drinks, getting them towels, taking them to the hotel, back and forth to sound check, getting them ready for the show. But I'm just a runner. I'm the lowest.
I was a runner too, right?
Were you really?
Yeah, I was a runner. I told you I worked for. Good God, I worked for Chris Isaac. I worked for Shania Twain. I worked for a bunch of people. What's the one I told you? Crazy stories, which I'm sure yours are way better. But with More Than Words, Extreme.
Extreme. Gary Cerrone.
Oh my God, dude, they live up to their name. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I knew Gary a little bit because we played what was it? We did the Freddie Mercury tribute, and I met him there.
Okay. Yeah.
With Guns N' Roses. So awesome, so I get a job work. So I'm at this theater, and Air Supply is doing 2 shows, Friday and Saturday night. Friday night, I'm the runner. Saturday night, I'm not scheduled to work, but my mother wants to go see Air Supply, and she wants me to take her with me. So 2 weeks out of college, I'm taking my mother to a concert. So my dating life is now over forever. And I'm sitting in the audience, and she goes, during the show, she's like, I really like Air Supply. You work here. You could get me backstage. So I'm like, great. My mother's a groupie. So I take her backstage to meet the band, of which I don't know them. I only met them the night before. And this big 6'5", 350-pound guy walks up to me, and he's like, "You're the guy that was working here last night, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I am, Mr. Very Large Man." And he said, "How much do you make a week here?" And I'm thinking it's none of his business, but he's huge, so I should answer the question. I said, about $150 a week. And he goes, "How would you like to quadruple that?" And so many things went through my mind of what this man wanted me to do to him for $600 a week. But I figured, I'm in. Dude, I'm yours. What do you need? And he said, the band saw you working last night. They love your positive attitude and your energy, and they want to know if you want to go on the road. To make a very long story short, they sent a limousine to my house the next morning, took Learjet to Wallingford, Connecticut, and toured with Air Supply for 7 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, simply because I was always doing my best just in case someone's watching. And I teach that in marketing. I have all these marketing tips, but if you're not like positive attitude, high energy, Joe. Yeah. Hi, Joe.
Wait, look, did you see his other comment? Who are those bands, Grandpa?
Yeah, Air Supply was early 80s. Guns was early 90s. Yeah. But I am not a grandpa yet. Okay. At least I pray I'm not a grandpa yet.
Yeah, right. Oh my God.
So I toured with Air Supply for like 7 years, then went home because I was sick of touring. And then the security guard for Air Supply, his name is Doug Goldstein, through weird scenarios, of which way too long to explain, through Van Halen, through a lot of weird things, became the manager of Guns N' Roses, like out of nowhere. And he starts touring with them. And, the band is crazy at this time. They're on heroin. They decide to all stop heroin. Steven Adler.
GNR?
Yeah, GNR were heroin addicts, and they all made a pact where they no more heroin. Axl was on stage, and after the show, he says, "We're done. I'm out of the band unless we all kick this. We can't do this anymore." So everyone quit except for Steven Adler, the drummer, couldn't do it. And if you get kicked out of Guns N' Roses, you got to be pretty bad, if you get kicked out of that band. So he got out. And so what happened was Doug Goldstein is like, "All right, I know one guy that could handle Axl Rose." So he calls me up. Air Supply days. And he says, "You ready to go back on the road?" And I'm like, "What do I have to do?" He's like, "You have to take care of Axl Rose." I'm like, "Whoa, dude, doesn't he get in trouble a lot?" And my friend Doug is like, "Yeah, but I'm going to pay you a lot of money." I'm like, "All right, I'm in." And I toured with them for like 3.5, 4 years with Guns.
Wow, dude, that is crazy, man.
Crazy.
So wow. That was a really fast life story, by the way. That was
but that's only up to 93, and then there's a whole
right. So you toured with Guns N' Roses. You were Axl. Let's back up to Air Supply. They don't seem to be like the crazy kind of Guns N' Roses type.
So I share this a lot. The craziness, definitely Guns N' Roses. But partying, Air Supply blows Guns N' Roses out of the water.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Back then. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the early 80s, there was a lot of, AIDS wasn't prevalent yet.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff in the early 80s. going on. You know, we Air Supply, if you think of it, attracted 90% women, which was good. If you know what I mean.
Just lots of, I do. I get it. Wow. Yeah. So, wow. All right, I'm trying to think where to go with these questions, man. So okay. So you toured with, now, was this a global thing? Like you're touring all over?
Yeah, we Air Supply. I toured with them for 7 years, and I think they toured all the time. We took like maybe once in a while, like a 30-day break, maybe. But we toured all the time. And
I can't. I should not put Joe's comments up on.
No, you should. You should. Air Supply was a world tour. So I think we did like 6 world tours with just Air Supply alone, and Guns N' Roses, same thing. They were all world tours. So I've been around the world probably 8 times, 9 times, like everywhere. I've been to every continent except for Antarctica. And I've been to every state except for Alaska, which is so strange because it's beautiful up there, but I haven't been there. But we played like Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan a lot, Chinese Taipei, Turkey, Israel was amazing, all South America, all Europe, Canada, all Canada. So pretty much, I don't know what I left out. Africa, we played South Africa and parts of Africa as well. So I've been everywhere. I've been very, very blessed. And then when I met my wife at the middle to end of the Guns N' Roses tour, and she had nothing to do with Guns N' Roses. It was my sister that set us up. It wasn't, I met her. I did not meet her on the road. And we got married, and we're like, so are we, I didn't want to travel. I was like, we'll do the honeymoon and then I'm done. I just want to like chill. I was so sick of living in a hotel and living in my suitcase and all that stuff. So everyone's like, how can you give up a life where you toured with Air Supply and Guns N' Roses? And I'm like, do it for 2 years and see how much you like it after that. I did it for like 10 years touring.
People don't, I was young. I was 21, 20, something like that. And I spent one summer being a runner for a company here in Columbus. And I remember when Chris Isaac's tour manager walked up to me and handed me $100 bill and said, "Chris needs underwear." And I'm like, that sounds like a personal effing problem. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh no.
I'm like, I remember I'm like, and I was pissed, and the owner of the comes up, he goes, "Would you please just go do it?" And I'm like, all right, well, guess what? Chris is getting the most expensive underwear in Columbus.
Right?
I think I got like 2 pairs for $100 or something.
Gold laced underwear. So I have a really, really funny story about someone giving you money to do something. I don't share this one a lot because it's unbelievable, but I was with Guns N' Roses, and Axl was dating Stephanie Seymour, the Victoria's Secret model. And it was her birthday tomorrow. And we were shopping. We're in London. Pretty sure we were in London, somewhere in Europe. Pretty sure it was London. No, it was London. It had to be London, right? So we're in London, and he goes, we go shopping, and he gets, and we're through all these stores, and he sees what he wants. It's a baby elephant stuffed animal, gigantic. It is the size of my desk, if you could see it. But just picture very large stuffed animal that you would win at a carnival when you won the best prize at the carnival. It is huge. So he picks it out. He hands it to me, and he says, "Get this to Stephanie tomorrow." We're in London, and I'm like,
and "Where's Stephanie?"
Stephanie is in California.
Oh,
so right, exactly. So FedEx is out of the question. UPS is out of the question. First of all, they don't take that much. And at the time, this is early 80s, it was like 2 days to get to. And this is, keep in mind, this is the day before early evening. So, get this to Stephanie tomorrow, and it's like 6 o'clock London time. So that's not going to work. I actually talk about buying stuff. This is why they hired me. I was very resourceful. I bought the stuffed animal elephant, a first-class ticket on the Concorde plane. And I had my limousine company in Los Angeles go pick it up at the airport and drive it to Stephanie's house, and it was there the next day. So I bought a stuffed animal, a first-class ticket on the Concorde. Yes. That might be more than your $50 underwear.
Way more. That was 20 grand. That had to have been 20 grand at least.
Like thousands, a lot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So stuff like that. That's what we did on the road.
That's crazy. How many? I'm curious when you're like, and I don't know who pulls more, Air Supply or Guns N' Roses as far as stadiums. How many people show up for these shows?
Oh no. Guns N' Roses way more. Like Air Supply played a lot of like 3,000 seat in the round theaters for a section. Then they would do the county fairs that were 15,000, 20, and then they did the small like hockey basketball arenas, like 10,000 to 15,000.
Okay.
But Guns N' Roses minimum was football stadiums. That was the small show. So Guns N' Roses way bigger, way larger audience. Big. I mean, the Use Your Illusion tour that I was on in the early 90s to this day, I think is still the biggest tour in the history of rock and roll. It was 3.5 years. And we had a section where we toured with Metallica. So it was Faith No More or Brian May Band warming up, or Suicidal Tendencies, like 3 of them, warming up. And then it was Metallica and Guns N' Roses. And that was major stadiums, major.
Oh,
so big show.
And so now because I know that they kind of carry the show with them via semi trucks or whatever. Yep. How do they do that? Do they put them on freighters and move them across the ocean? How do they do that?
We had 2 sets with Guns N' Roses. So they would set up one in Denver. We'd go play Denver. They'd strike Denver and go to the second city, and the other one would go to like Kansas City. So the other set was one show ahead of us. So we had 2 sets, sets of semi-trailers. It was big.
I can't even imagine how many semi-trailers there had to be.
Oh, I forget how many, and I might be exaggerating, but at least 20 for the main, because there's half of the semi-trailers would be the equipment, right? So that would go with us to each show. But they probably had 10 for the set times 2, so maybe like 30 or something. Bunch of buses. We traveled by plane. We had our own plane, Guns N' Roses. So we shared a plane with U2 and Bruce Springsteen. So it was really cool. So they would not share it on the same flights, but they would take us, then pick up Bruce, then take Bruce, then go get U2, take U2, then go back and get us. And it's crazy.
Were these were big planes? They had to have been.
It was an MGM 737. Yeah. All first class seats and staterooms.
Wow.
So to this day, Ken, here's the problem with my life. I cannot travel coach, which gets expensive because I'm not even joking. I got so spoiled, and so I have to take a lot of money the rest of my life because I can't go and coach anymore. And it sounds snobby. I understand how it sounds. Trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
But when you travel that way for 10 years, those seats in the back, I don't know how people sit in those things. But
you should have worked a royalty deal with Axl or something, man.
Yeah, for the rest of my life, right? Yeah. You made me sit in first class.
Yeah, right. So what were some of the, and I'm sure there's things you can't talk about. But what were some of the things that you can talk about that are just like that, normal people wouldn't know, like about maybe it's the touring, maybe it's something about Axl, or I mean, was he somebody that was outgoing when he was alone, or was he an introvert?
No. Axl is very shy person, very to himself, deep thinker. But in his community, in our world there were 30 of us that toured together. Axl's entourage was Axl, myself. I had an assistant. That's how bad it was. I actually had an assistant. I know, right? A masseuse, a chiropractor, and a security guy. So that was our entourage just for Axl. And then the band, each band member had a security person and one assistant for the rest of the band, kind of thing. And then the tour manager, the manager, that type of team. So there were 30 of us that traveled on the plane all the time together. Wow. And Axl was like really outgoing in that group. Like Axl and my wife are very good friends. He's very open with my wife. He loves to get a female perspective of things. Here's something. So we were yes men, right? Our goal was to get my goal. I had one goal on this tour: get Axl Rose on stage as close to on time as possible. That was the one thing Craig had to do, and all these other factors led to this one goal.
Oh my God.
So we used to say yes to, whatever it is you just said, 100%. Okay, let's go to the show. And then he would want to get my wife's perspective on things. And she wasn't part of the meetings, I guess, where we said, just say yes. And she would tell him the truth. And I'd be like, and then that would set us back 2 hours.
So no.
We'd be like, Natasha, you can't tell him that. And dear heart, Natasha, she's like this beautiful person. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. So
wow.
I know. So we all went to the Natasha way of life and just started telling him the truth. And then, and I'm exaggerating a little. We told him the truth, but there were times where we're getting close to showtime. And if he said something that was just a little off, we'd be like, yeah, definitely. Let's go. We'll deal with that later.
Right.
But my wife is like, no, that's not true. Anyway, it was funny. But he's more of an introvert. He's very shy in public. And that's why I think he gets a bad rap in public. The guy is bothered. I watched this, right? We all say, like, I don't know if we all say, a lot of people say, I want to be famous. I want to be rich and famous. And I'm looking at Axl Rose's life, and I'm like, I don't want to be rich and famous. I want to be well off. I want to make enough money for my family, but I don't want to be a household name because I see what it does. The poor guy can't walk through airports, can't go out and have a meal. Like after shows, we would go to Denny's. That was our big thing at 4 or 5 in the morning. And I would say to the manager of Denny's, please don't mention to anybody that we're here. Here's $100 or something. And within 5 minutes, the place was surrounded and packed.
Outside, or did they
inside, outside, taking pictures of us eating.
Oh my God.
So my point is, until you're in a person like Axl Rose's shoes, don't judge when they're in a bad mood at the airport because they're getting hounded all the time. So we see the media plays all his bad stuff because that's Axl Rose. He's a bad boy. But in deep inside, he's a sweetheart, big heart. I mean, he does so much for charities and so many things for underprivileged children that the media doesn't even talk about because that's not Axl Rose. So he is a great guy, but he's very introverted and very shy in public. Slash is outgoing, Duff McKagan, the bass player, very outgoing, great in public and just like really cool with the people. Dizzy, same thing. Gilby is amazing. I didn't know Izzy as much. I met him a couple of times. He was the original rhythm guitarist. And when I toured, Gilby Clarke was there. And then Matt Storm, total rock star dude, the drummer that took over for it. But those are the guys I know that I toured with. And there's a couple of different people in the lineup now that I don't know. I know Slash is there, Duff is there, Dizzy is there, and Axl.
Are they still touring?
Yeah. They were before COVID, They had, like the Eagles would never tour again. We'll tour when hell freezes over. And then they did the Hell Freezes Over tour. So Guns N' Roses has the Not in This Lifetime tour, because Axl and Slash would said, I am never going to tour with you, not in this lifetime. And they are back together again. And I'm one of the people that was in both camps. Like there was an Axl camp and there was a Slash camp, but I was friends with both. Yeah. So I had the benefit of being in both camps, and I tried to play Switzerland as much as possible. And so I'm still friends with both to this day. So it worked out good. I'm glad they're together. The world needs Guns N' Roses. They're great.
I totally agree with that, man. I mean, I'm an 80s kid, so you know.
Too. Yeah.
That's what I grew up on. So
I'm also a 70s kid, but we don't need to go there.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's crazy, and I've never seen Guns N' Roses live, man.
Wow. Me neither.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. I've seen let me see. I'm going to try to guess how many shows I've seen.
So oh my God.
Probably like 750 shows, probably.
Jeez.
I know. Crazy.
That is insane. But you're always like off the side of the stage somewhere, right? You're not out.
Yeah, I'm right on. So in the beginning, when I first started, I ran Axl's teleprompter. The words to all his songs were all over the place. And then I was the assistant to Axl's guy. His name was Blake. And then he quit like 2 months in, and he said, "You're in charge now." I'm like, and he was in Germany. And he goes, I'm quitting. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, "You're in charge now." And I'm like, wait a minute. This is too much pressure. Because, I mean, it was a very, very, very high pressure gig. Very high pressure. High security, high pressure. Amazing, right? So, so Blake quits, and now I take over. And I told Axl, I said, "Here's the deal, dude. I'm not Blake. Blake used to like hover over Axl, and I have 100 jobs I got to do." So I walked into Axl. I said, "All right, Blake just quit, and apparently I'm taking over now. But I'm not going to do it like he's doing it. I'm in my room. If you need me, just come to my room. I'm not going to sit in your room and just make sure that you have everything, because I have a million things to do." And I think he respected that. You know, he's like, yeah, do your thing. And then I had to hire an assistant. So I forgot what I was sharing before. Why did I bring up this story? You asked me a question. It's gone.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't even remember the question I asked. I know what it was. So I ran the teleprompter, and then when I got I made him run the teleprompter because it was such a stressful job. And so then he ran the teleprompter, and then I just stood on the side of the stage waiting for something bad to happen. And when it did, handling it. How did it go when, because, you know, most of the time you've got an opening band or, you know, something like that. Like, how did it go when you're on tour with, I mean, Metallica and GNR are two massive names. And I've seen it personally. I've seen it backstage, and I know you have, where there's a clash of egos. How did that? Did you ever have to like play, like get in the middle of?
No. Here's what I had to do. So, fortunately, Metallica and Guns N' Roses got along great. Amazingly great. Slash and James and like my nights out were with Slash and Lars. So that was my night out. Like when Axl never went out. So I went out with Slash. Axl would not go out. He was, at this time, he's dating Stephanie. He's really trying to make himself a better person, working on himself and stuff, which was great. Wow. So he didn't go out to bars when I was there at pretty much at all.
Wow.
Slash, on the other hand, went out to bars. So I would leave my assistant like in the hotel some of the times, and I would go out, or he would go out and I'd stay in the hotel just waiting for Axl. So when I went out with Slash and Lars, which if you go out with Slash and Lars, there's a book there, just there, which I can't share any of that, but there's a book there, just those nights. with those two. Anyway, that being said, I was always just with Axl's entourage most of the time, and we would get there just before Guns went on. So I didn't get to see Metallica a lot on stage or the interaction between them, but I know it was great. Metallica didn't love Axl as much because of the lateness and the things. So there's a couple of videos out there of Metallica doing these things about Axl, but they respected each other and everyone got along great. I have a great story. Suicidal Tendencies warmed up for part of that tour. Yeah. And the bass player for Suicidal Tendencies at the time was a guy named Rob Trujillo. I don't know if you know that name, but Rob Trujillo is now the bass player for Metallica. He took over like about 5 years ago. Yeah. So my son Ryan, I have 3 kids. Tyler is a film director at TCU. My son Ryan is a drummer, and my son Hayden is a guitarist. And my son Ryan is a really good drummer. He's like really great. And he started a couple of bands in Los Angeles, and he's in this band called Thredge, Thredge, Thredge. They're like a heavy metal band. And his bass player is this kid, Ty. And we didn't know Ty. We just knew that he was a cool kid, and he was touted as a great bass player. So all of a sudden, Ryan, after a couple of weeks of playing with this kid, Ty, he looks at Ty's name and his Instagram account. And his Instagram account, for a 15-year-old kid at the time, now he's 16, had like 80,000 followers. And my son Ryan is like, how does this kid have 80,000 followers? And then he starts doing some research on Ty Trujillo. Ty Trujillo is the bass player of Metallica's son. So my son Ryan is in a band with the bass player of Metallica's son. So now Rob Trujillo and I are good friends through our sons, and we toured together when he played with Suicidal Tendencies, and we never knew each other. Wow. So it's a weird thing that we're back together again, and we toured in the early 90s for a year, and we saw each other and said hi, but isn't that funny that now, full circle, our kids are playing in a band together?
That's insane, man. That's insane. Yeah, I forget which, you posted something on Facebook to vote for one of your kids for a something. It was voting for a song or something in one of the bands that they're in.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, it was Battle of the Bands in Agora Hills. But I think what you're talking about is I posted to get some likes to. My son has another band called Dead Teddy, and they released. Their first song is Poison, and it's all over Spotify. So if you go, all you people out there, if you could just go to Spotify and just look up Dead Teddy, is DEDTEDDY, Dead Teddy, and their song Poison, just stream it. That would be awesome.
So here's a great question. What qualities that most contributed to your success as a manager / assistant in the music business that are transferable to any other job or field? That's a great question, actually.
Great question. And I will say this. I'm touted, because I can't judge, as a really good speaker. On stage, I'm really good at what I do, I guess. That's what people say. And I'm very resourceful. I can find anything or get anything at any time for any situation. So if I need something at an event or something, I will very much be able to get it, and not only get it, but negotiate a great price. Because I'm a great negotiator, because at the time when I was with Guns N' Roses, all I had to say was, I'm with Guns N' Roses, and I'd pretty much get it for free, but whatever it was. So remind me resourceful. But I'm going to go back to a story. I was dating my wife during the Guns N' Roses tour, and we're in a hotel room and in Los Angeles. And I said to my wife, we were like listening to music in our hotel room, and I wanted to play her a Queen song. I was a huge Queen fan, And I didn't have the album with me, and at the time there was no like Spotify or anything like that.
Yeah,
like,
right.
All that stuff. So I
good
called up
old days.
Tower, right, exactly. So I called up Tower Records on Sunset Boulevard, and I get on the phone with them, and I said, I need this Queen album, but I have no car and no way to get there, and I can't leave because my boss is here, and I can't leave the hotel. Can I pay you or somebody to buy the album for me and then drive it to my hotel? And they're like, dude, we can't do that, man. I just, we're on staff here. We only have a couple of people. So then I say, I understand, but my name is Craig Duswalt, and you don't know who I am at all. But my boss is Axl Rose. And I have an autographed picture right here, and I will get Axl to sign your name if you come over to my hotel room. And he goes, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So this kid actually, with his money, bought the Queen album.
Oh my God.
Drove there. I gave the kid $100, and it said, I think it was Jeff, to Jeff, thank you for the Queen album, Axl Rose. And I gave it to him. Now, he didn't get to meet Axl because Axl was doing something, but he got that, and it was literally a legit autograph, and he got it. And so those are the things now that I use in business, like in negotiating. I feel there's always a way to get something. We can offer something that they might need where it's a win-win. I don't want anyone to for free. But I'll do a win-win all day long. Like I will
value exchange.
Absolutely, all day long. And I have a lot of value stuff because I put on big seminars. I have sponsorships available. So that's why I tell people that are speakers. A lot of speakers just want to speak on stages and they don't want to do their own events. Right. I believe everyone should do their own event if you're a speaker. And even if you're not a speaker, put on lunch and learns. But these are opportunities where you can invite people to speak on your stage if you need something of theirs or you want to speak on their stage. So I use a lot of that negotiating stuff that I learned with Guns N' Roses as well. And then like resources, I focus on resources because I have so many. So I'm willing to share these resources again in a negotiation situation. And then the other thing, last thing is events. I put on events. I don't just get up on stage and speak. I put on events. And I learned that with Air Supply and especially Guns N' Roses. You need to make the crowd, A, want more, B, have an experience. So my events are not just me up there speaking. This is an experience that they'll walk out of there going, oh my gosh, that was way more than just a seminar. It was an experience. So I learned a lot of that stuff with Guns N' Roses. Now, I'm not as crazy as they are, but everyone walked out of there going, that was more than just a concert. There was an experience there as well. And Queen, I was a huge Freddie Mercury fan. I am by no means Freddie Mercury, but I am really good at dealing with crowds. Like my events have like 600, 700 people. How do you talk to the person in the last row? And Freddie Mercury was great at exuding his personality, if that's the right term, to the last row. They in the last row felt exactly what the person in the first row felt as well. And I think I'm really good at doing that as well. So there's one more thing that a piece of it, but I forgot what it was. But that's the main stuff that I take into business now.
So you're wearing a shirt that says "Rock Your Life." Talk about that. Because that's your company, right?
So I
saw last night. I was looking through some photo. I was stalking your Facebook page. I happened to come across because Joe's a good buddy of mine. I know you're.
Joe's been to my events, a few of my events.
Yeah, I liked one of the pictures of him and his wife at one of your events. Yeah. And it literally, from what I could see in the picture, it looked like, I mean, dude, you had a rock stage set up.
Oh yeah. No, I tried.
Like, wow, that's a mini GNR stage right there.
I do a different stage every single time because I get bored very easy. My events are always different. There's a lot of the same content. I have I have a core stuff that I teach, but I add new stuff all the time because just for my boredom, I don't want to say the same thing over and over. So the reason why, like Joe just said, a lot of people go back and back and back. I've had people come to 15 events, and it's like just they come over and over again because they're going to get new information. I tell different stories, and there's a new set all the time. So it's like, what's Craig going to do this time, kind of thing. So I do take very care on what's on stage. Sometimes I even strip it down to nothing because I know I have a lot of cool stuff coming up. But the events are rock star like. I play a lot of music. I make it a lot of fun. So that, because I believe if you're having fun, you learn a lot more. But it's a ton of content. And that's a great point, Joe. My PowerPoint presentations, one of my pet peeves when I go to seminars is where they list like, here are the 8 things that you could do to do something. And all 8 are on one PowerPoint slide. And I'm like, oh my God, that is like speaking 101. If you have 8 points on a slide, you're talking about number 1, but everybody in the audience is reading 2 through 7. So they're not even paying attention to you right now at all. So I only put one thought per slide in big, gigantic letters. And so they read that, and then I have a book that they fill out, and there's always a blank, and then they fill in the blank, and then they listen. But I always infuse my PowerPoint presentations with slides that are different, funny. I'll throw a music video up there. I'll do something weird in the middle of it just to break it up. Tony Robbins always wants to break our focus. Do that. I'm drawing a blank. But break us. Stop the pattern. Interrupt the pattern.
Interrupt the pattern. Yeah,
that's right. And so I do that all day long with my seminars. So thank you, Joe, for pointing out my presentations. I've really figured out how to do that.
Tim Gillette says that you are a crazy guy. You just act normal in interviews.
Tim is one of my best friends, and now we live near each other.
Yeah, Tim's awesome, man.
He does these blog and video cons that are so good. You know what's amazing about Tim? When I do my masterminds, Tim is always in the back of the room. And he always, every time we brainstorm in my masterminds, we have like 200 people in my mastermind, and we all brainstorm all the time for each other. And Tim comes up with the greatest ideas. He's a really great marketer. I know he looks like Tom Petty and a rocketer, but he's a really great marketer.
Yeah. Look at that. We have Patricia. So
my Canadian friend, Patricia, she's amazing. She's an amazing
artist. Out of the box?
Ask him about them. Well, that's you want to do any of those? I don't know.
What's out of the box?
All my marketing ideas I have outside the box marketing. I have a whole session on crazy things that you could do to market your business. Wow. And some of them are absolutely insane.
Give us one.
All right. All right, I'll do this. Well, I'm going to do 2 if that's okay. Because
do 20 if you want.
No, because they kind of go into each other.
Yeah.
So I hate cold calling. So I'm a marketing guy, and I hate cold calling. I will never cold call. I just, I teach rock star marketing, right? So I don't think Axl Rose is on the phone cold calling someone saying, hey, we have a concert tomorrow night at the Forum. Do you want to come? So if you want to be a rock star, I don't believe you need to cold call. But there's like tons of things that you could do to get some warm leads. So what I do is one of the things I do is I have these envelopes, these business white envelopes, number 10 envelopes. They're just regular white envelopes. And I'll just focus on people I want to either come to my seminar or sponsor my event. So I will get their address from somewhere because I have a database. I have like 50,000 in my database. I'll grab an address of who I think is successful, who I think will align with my audience, and I'll want to invite them. Yeah, right. I'll want to invite them, y'all, to come to my event. So I get a white envelope, a number 10 business envelope, and I'll write the person's name. Let's just say John Smith, and I'll address it to him. And in the return address, I'll put my return address and my telephone number under the return address. And I send it to John Smith. So John Smith gets my envelope and he opens it and it's empty. There's nothing inside. And he's like, what the hell was this? There was nothing in this. So he goes to the return address and he sees a telephone number. And he's like, oh, good, there's a telephone number. So he calls me up and he says, hey, Craig, my name is John Smith. And I just got an envelope, but it was empty. Can you tell me what was inside? And I say, nothing was inside. I just wanted to call so we could talk about my upcoming seminar. And one of two things will happen. One, if he gets upset, I'm like, dude, you called me. I didn't call you. What are you talking about? So they can't really get upset. Or number two is they go, wow, that is very clever. So what is the event? And I say, it's a marketing event. And I think you would be a great fit for one of my sponsorships or to get a table. It's a warm call so that I now get them. So what I also do, though, this is number two, is, and I have a number three, which is a backup of this. So number two, on that same thing, I put stamps. And here are the stamps I use. I put a stamp on the envelope. And if you look really closely, these stamps have my picture on it. Book Craig is your next speaker. So you could go to stamps.com and you could have your picture put on your stamps. And a lot of people don't know that. In the seminar world, a lot of people know it. But a lot of people in the regular world don't know this. So, like, I was on the committee for my high school reunion, my 40th high school reunion. I don't know how that happened. And I sent out invitations to the seminar, to the reunion, 40-year reunion, and I put my stamps on it. And everyone in my class does this. How in God's name did you get on a U.S. stamp? And I said, well, I'm a speaker in California. And they asked me. So I said, yeah. They have no idea that anyone could do this because regular people just don't know. So the same thing, when I'm sending these blank envelopes, most of these people have no idea that you could do this. And then they say, dude, let me ask you a question while I have you here since I called you. How did you get on that stamp? And at first I say, well, I'm a pretty big deal, I guess. I don't know. They asked me, the U.S. Post Office called me one day and said, I hear you're a really good speaker. So would you like to be on stamp? But then I tell them the truth. I'm like, hey, here's an outside the box marketing idea. You can do this too. So I share that. Here's the third one. Not only can you do that, but let's just say I send this blank envelope to John Smith. And John Smith gets the blank envelope. And the stamp has his picture on it. Oh, mind blow. Because I just go to Facebook and download his picture, go to stamps.com and buy a stamp with his picture on it. So now he's like, okay, first of all, okay, there's nothing in this. How in God's name am I on a stamp? I said, I don't know. I got these stamps at the post office. You don't even know that you're on a stamp? And then I tell them. But it blows their minds. Regular people have no idea that all this exists, and it's just all it is. Instead of a cold call, it's a warm thing to just talk to people. And then they're so blown away by the three things that I just did, they all come to my seminar.
That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. What's the non-threatening Caucasian finger web pose?
Oh, I hate you. You're such a dick. Sorry.
He is. I tell him that almost daily.
All right, I'll do it. So my first couple of books, I had a photographer said, stand like this. So I stood like this in my seminars, in my books. And to this day, it's just everyone makes fun of me because I had that Caucasian white finger pose, I guess it's called. So Tim Gillette did something at my last event. So Tim doesn't even listen to me on stage because all he's doing is trying to mess me up at my seminars. That's all he does. So he contacts all these mastermind people that aren't at my seminar, people that have been to my seminar, friends of mine, my family, and he gets everyone to pose like this, and he put together a reel of he has a video of it of about 100 people doing that pose, and it was just hysterical. Even my sister in Florida, he contacted my parents, and I'm like, where did you get all these people? So he doesn't listen to my seminars. He's been to every single one of them for the last 8 years, but obviously he's not listening because all he's doing is mess me up.
So what are you doing? I mean, I don't think you're doing any seminars at the moment, are you?
No, it's just really funny. And for people that are scheduled to go to this one, I tried to do one here October 6th live in Texas. And I did an interview with my mastermind the other day. I needed 100. I wanted 100 people to come to this, but right now I have like 6 people coming, and it's October 6th. So I did a poll out to my mastermind, and I said, "Are you guys ready to? You don't have to come to this one because it's in Dallas, but are you ready to go to a live event yet?" And 90% of my people said, "Not yet." Just some of them are older. Some of them have like a diabetes type of situation. Some of them are taking care of grandkids. So I just last night canceled October 6th. So if you're listening and you didn't know that yet, I had to cancel it. I just don't want to pay thousands of dollars to have like no one show up. And I think we're just not ready yet. I'm ready personally.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, right. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. Yep. That's what I firmly believe. But I have a virtual event. I have a virtual event coming up on October 8th, 9th, and 10th. So if you just go to
a website address for people to
let me just go to that website address. Can I email it to you and then you put it up?
There's a chat. You should see a private chat. You can send
that would be wonderful.
Right
I'll be with you guys in a second.
Yeah.
I'll get code.
Tim had to cancel his for November 5th. Dude, I think you'll be all right on November 5th.
Yeah, exactly, right?
No, I'm sure it has to. And Jeffrey Miller agrees with not yet. Siraj says, I'm ready. Siraj thinks we look like brothers, dude.
We are brothers, man, from another mother, maybe, but we are brothers.
That's right. Oh, look, Tim Gillette just put it up.
Oh, he's faster than me. See how good he is?
But I can't scroll that across the bottom. I need the link that I can copy and paste. But I can leave Tim's comment up there. So Chadwick says, love that name, by the way. Questions for Craig. What is on the top of your marketing bucket list?
Chadwick, man, I think you need to be like my right-hand man, because thank you for the lead into something that I would love to talk about.
Yeah, really.
That Ken hasn't asked me about yet. I'm kidding.
I'm getting
no one knows about it. No one knows about it. I'm kidding. So I do have a bucket list thing, and I think everyone. So I put together personal goals. How do I comment on this? Wait.
Over to the right.
Oh my God, I see all the comments, but how can I comment?
Well, over to the up at the top, there's private chat and there's comments. You can
I'll do that. I got it. Here it is.
Private chat and send me that link.
Right. So that is the link. So hopefully that'll help. I don't know if that helps.
Got it.
Right. So thank you, Chadwick, for that question, because 2 years ago, I opened up a nonprofit called Band Together Foundation. And we're really good at giving back, my wife and I. We do a lot of things for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. My wife had Hodgkin's lymphoma. She is cured of it. She had it a long time ago, and she is cured. So thank God for that. So we give back to a lot of charities. We raise money for many mansions. It's this place in Westlake Village. Anyway, so we do that. So 2 years ago, we opened up Band Together Foundation, and I believe that all businesses need to open up a nonprofit leg to give back. We have been blessed beyond blessed. So we are focused on giving back. So we raise money at all my events for the Band Together Foundation. So I was talking about goals. So I always put together personal goals and I write them down. And then I put together business goals and we write them down every year. And 2020, we've had to redo our goals in April because of the COVID. So my wife and I redid our goals. But I always believe that we need to have dream big goals that are pretty much not even attainable. Like one of my dream big goals is to buy the Kansas City Chiefs football team. Now, that's probably not going to happen, but it's a goal that is in the back of my mind. It's a bucket list thing. Besides hanging with Joe and Ken, it's number 2. Joe and Ken, number 1. Number 2 is to buy the Kansas City Chiefs. So probably not going to happen. But what can happen is something that I can do and I have control of is and it was going to be 2022, but it looks like it's going to be 2023 because COVID set me back a year. The 2020 is pretty much a waste. So my wife and I and our foundation, Band Together Foundation, want to put together a Live Aid type of concert in 2023. And it's a Band Together to raise money for Band Together Foundation, which will raise money for a certain cause that we don't know yet. But the idea is banding together. So bands that have broken up in the past band together for one day so that the world can band together as well and do a concert. Now, there'll be bands there that are also together and did not break up or broke up in the past and got back together, like an Eagles, like a Guns N' Roses. So this idea came about when Guns N' Roses was broken up, and my goal was to get them back together and then do a concert band together. So there's a lot of little pieces that have started, but in 2023, we want to put on the next Live Aid under the Band Together Foundation umbrella.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time, man. I think that people do not dream big enough.
Yeah.
They don't.
I know.
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I am. But you have what, how do I word this? You kind of have the upper hand in the sense of, dude, you've traveled literally all over the entire planet with the biggest. I mean, Guns N' Roses in the 80s, I don't think there was a bigger band. I mean, they were
the number one bands in the 90s, 80s, late 80s and 90s. Yeah. They were number one. Yeah.
Yeah. In the world.
In the world.
Like, not just the US, in the world.
In the world.
They were making at least $100,000 a year.
Yeah. They were making more, $1 million a show.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's
is the number that I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they were.
They're very, very successful.
So, but so you have when I say you have the upper hand, you were blessed with an opportunity because of your energy, because of your attitude, your work ethic, everything else. You were blessed with an opportunity that literally showed you the world. So I think there's people, and that's what this show's about. Like, there's people who get stuck right there in their crap. Something goes wrong in life and they stay there and they stop dreaming. What do you say to somebody like that has stopped dreaming big, thinking about the private jets and what do you say to them? How do you help them get over that hump?
That is such a good question. And first of all, I will agree with you that I have been blessed. So I have doors that are open more than most people. I get that. But there's a lot of people that I toured with. The doors were open for them too. And they're dead, divorced, unhappy. And I would say that's 90% of the people that I know on the road. So while I have been blessed, kudos to me for taking advantage of being blessed. Yep. I did the work. I didn't just rest on my laurels. I toured with Guns N' Roses. So now the world should just come to me and not do any work.
Yeah. Right.
Excuse me. So a lot of people did that. Now, for the people out there that I understand you didn't tour with Guns N' Roses, how would I be able to dream big? How would I be able to accomplish something? Well, let's look at all the people that didn't tour with a band that became very, very successful in life. We all have something that is unique, that is different about us. We have something. And one of the things I do in my mastermind is find that for people, is what is that thing that makes you different? You know, you could be a baseball fan and you could just be the best baseball fan in the world for the New York Yankees. Well, there's a way to incorporate baseball into your business because you have such a passion for loving the New York Yankees. How do you incorporate baseball into your brand? Because you would love to talk about baseball 24/7. So if you incorporate, like, hit a home run with your clients or something like that, because you incorporated baseball into your brand, that gives you passion for your brand, more passion than regular, and that will now cater to the people that love baseball. So point is, there's always a way to position yourself to be successful in whatever it is without touring with a band like Guns N' Roses. And all you have to do is find your passion, do good things and give back. And here's the deal. You have to believe in your heart that you are doing it because you want to help people. And you know that if they listened to you, that they would benefit more than what it actually cost them to be in it. So you also have to believe in your heart that that's true. And you're not just doing this just to make money. Like, I honestly do not speak to make money. I make money as a speaker, but like, for example, I make money as a keynote speaker. And if I was only a keynote speaker, I'd be good. You know, I'd make enough money as a keynote speaker. So I don't have to put on my own events. I don't have to have a mastermind. My mastermind, by the way, is the most inexpensive mastermind to join for someone. I'll just brag for a second at my level. My level of seminars, I have 600 to 700 people. Those people charge $25,000 to $100,000 to be in the mastermind. My mastermind for a year, to be in my mastermind and you get access to me, is $4,000 for the year. And if you stay in it 2 years, it's $2,000 for the second year. And the third year is $1,000 to stay in it. And you still get me, and you still get all the information and all the connections. And it's $1,000 for a year and beyond. So that's why I have like 210 in my mastermind. Hardly anyone ever leaves because they want to get to $1,000 a year to be in the mastermind. Point is, people make choices in this world. You know, I don't go out and party every night anymore. I haven't for years. I work, but I love what I do so much that, yes, I toured with Guns N' Roses and Air Supply, so doors are opened. But I use those doors and I work my ass off. I don't watch TV. I don't go to bars. I don't party like crazy. Right. And I work, but I enjoy what I do. And my wife enjoys what she does. And she's literally 15 feet from me right now. So we love working together. And we have a great relationship, and I love my kids, and everything is about the kids. So yes, I have the doors open, but I work my butt off, and I don't, spend a lot of time doing things that won't further my career, let's just say.
Have you ever experienced being down to your last $100?
Oh, I wouldn't say 100, but hell yeah. Please. When I graduated college, I had no money. I was in debt. So there's that. But then I got Air Supply, and I made money during Air Supply. So for 7.5 years, I was good. But when you're touring with Air Supply and you're touring with millionaires, you think you're a millionaire too. But I ain't making millionaire prices.
Right.
So I spent all the money that I made with Air Supply. So from 1988 to 1990, I was a struggling musician because I was in a band and I was a singer, and I tried to make it as a musician. Wally Stocker, the original guitarist for the Babies and the guitarist for Air Supply, him and I wrote a couple of songs, and we were starting a band, and just nothing. I got nothing. I was an actor. I was on a General Hospital for a year as a small part. I was on Full House a couple of times, little itty bitty tiny things. Never made it as an actor. Rejected 24/7. And I was living in Santa Monica and was like living credit card to credit card. I would get a credit card, and I would max it out and then get another credit card and then max it out and get another credit card. But I worked as a waiter at the time.
Yeah.
This is in between Air Supply and Guns N' Roses. Worked as a waiter. Wow. And I was down to not $100. I was down to negative $10,000 on a credit card. But I always had credit because I had good credit. And I paid minimum every month. But if you were asking if I had $100, no, I had negative 10,000 at all times. And then I got Guns N' Roses, and that got me out of it. But when I was done with Guns N' Roses, got married, then I became a businessman. And I saved money from Guns N' Roses, and then the rest. Then I got a job at an ad agency. I was a copywriter, then a senior copywriter, then a creative director. Then I opened my own ad agency, and then I became a speaker. And ever since the end of Guns N' Roses, I learned how to save money, learned to live within my means, learned how to run a business. Went to a Tony Robbins seminar. That's when he said, quit your job and open your own business. At least that's what I heard. So I quit my job. I quit my job as a creative director for an ad agency, and I opened up my own ad agency. And
you said that's what I heard.
Yeah. Because what I heard was quit. He was saying, like, be your own boss, and you should focus on being an entrepreneur because you can handle it all. So I literally yelled out at an Unleash the Power Within seminar. He was doing some exercise. It was quiet. And I just yelled out, I just quit my job in front of thousands of people. And Tony Robbins goes, awesome.
So my God.
And I literally quit my job, and I opened my own ad agency that Monday. And I got some clients, and yes, I know Van Halen pretty well, so that will be one of the targets because my goal is to have Sammy and Dave on stage together.
Wow, that's freaking awesome, man. And do you have a book about your time on the road?
Oh, funny you should ask that, Joe. It's called Welcome to My Jungle. It's on Amazon. It's available. Welcome to My Jungle.
Dude, okay, so I did not know that about you. I'm an Amazon influencer, and I can actually live stream on Amazon. I'm going to have you come on and do a live stream to the Amazon audience, and we'll sell the crap out of your book.
All right, well, I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to respectfully decline.
You are?
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
I wrote that book, and I wish I didn't.
Oh.
And it's not because, like, I didn't out anybody on the road.
Right.
Like, they're my friends, right? I didn't tell any inside scoop stories at all. I just told funny and interesting things that happened on the road with Guns N' Roses. And I got bashed on Amazon because I didn't tell the dirt. This guy is a sellout. He didn't tell the dirt. He must be dating Axl or stupid stuff. So I have not told anybody about this book for years. It's still sold a ton of copies, but I don't promote it anymore. So there you go.
Okay, well,
but it's still out there, and it is a good read, but just don't bash me, you know. Thank you, Jeff Miller. Jeffrey Miller has the book, and he loved it. I love you, Jeffrey.
Everybody on here, go buy
it. I want to answer Jill's question. I can't take it down because I had it through a publisher. So they own the rights to it.
Well, so here's the solution. Everybody go buy a copy of it. Oh, dude, I was just thinking we got to talk about Glenn in a minute. But everybody
Glenn Morshower is, I'm going to just say right now, Glenn Morshower is the greatest person on this earth. That's all I'm going to say about Glenn.
1,000%. And I want to talk about him. But everybody go buy a copy of the book and leave a 5-star raving review for Craig on there. So let's talk about.
Wait, we know what happened with that? I honestly, my mastermind all bought the book the first day. Legitimately bought the book and read the book because they could not wait for it to come out. And they all gave me 5-star reviews. So the first day I had like 100 5-star reviews, and that's what I got bashed over. It's impossible to get 5-star reviews. This guy's buying reviews.
Oh my God.
So they would give me 1 star because I bought reviews, even though they liked the book. It's so stupid. So stupid.
Yeah, I wouldn't let people like that. I wouldn't let hate.
And then I opened the door to Pandora's box to the world that I left a long time to kind of came back to me. and it's not as pretty of a world as I am in now. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Well, dude, talk about Glenn real quick and we'll wrap it up. Tell me how you met Glenn Morshower. You know, he's a brother to me. And
I know you guys do that Sunday night thing, and I was on that show. And Scott McCain is a good friend of mine too. So it's so funny. You guys are awesome. I listen to you guys a lot. And you're so nice that you mention my name all the time. I love you guys. So Glenn Morshower is so we were in a play together back in 1926 at the Woodland Hills Community Theater. And it was a show called The Last Meeting of the Knights of the White Magnolia. And it was like, I knew who Glenn was because he had done like shows. And then I'm a guy that's done like General Hospital and Full House, right? But we had a great cast for this community theater. It was an amazing cast, actually. It was like not your typical community theater cast. I will say this.
Yeah.
So I got cast in this show and Glenn's in it, and talk about intimidated. I'm like, oh my God. And most of my scenes were with Glenn, and he was mean to me. Like his character was mean to my character. He like made fun of me. My name was Milo Crawford. And he was this dude that just made fun of Milo Crawford. And so I was like this Texas kid that everyone made fun of me. Anyway, so I was abused on the show. Plus he was Glenn Morshower. And I'm like, okay. But Glenn, outside of character, is the sweetest man imaginable. And we just hit it off. I mean, we started dating immediately, I think. And then we realized that we weren't gay, with nothing wrong with being gay, but we just realized we weren't. And then so Glenn and I have known each other since whenever that was. I don't even know what year that was, but it was
1926.
Yeah, 1926. And then we have been best buds for forever and ever. And it's funny, we not lost touch, but we just like there were like 2 or 3 year period. Milo's self-esteem. Exactly.
Oh my God, that's funny, dude.
We not lost touch, but we just didn't connect for like 2 or 3 years. Way after the play, we hung out for years after the play. But there was a period I was on tour, so I wasn't keeping in touch with people. Yeah. And then I got back from the Guns N' Roses tour, and then I opened an ad agency, stuff like that. But then in 2009, 10-ish, I was speaking. I became a speaker, and Glenn was on the circuit as a speaker. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing here as a speaker? He goes, oh my gosh, I speak at these events. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I speak at those events. And then we just rekindled our friendship again. Now it's stronger than ever. And the great thing is, he lives in Dallas and I live in Frisco. We're down the block from each other. Yeah. And we'll be seeing a lot of each other. I want to go to his classes. He has these acting classes here that I send a lot of people to because
he wants us. I plan on being in one of his.
What time is that at, Glenn? What time is that at?
It's all day. It's until.
I'll do that. If you could put up the link, I have one.
I'll send you the link, dude.
That would be awesome.
That's not for public, but I'll send it to you for sure.
That's awesome.
So man. Wow. I mean, honestly, Craig, I could sit here all day and talk to you because, like, wow, you've got some stories, man. And you know what? Honestly, something I didn't realize is you actually have some unbelievably creative marketing solutions.
I have 254.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't do drugs. I very rarely drink. And my brain thinks as if I've dropped acid because it's amazing. Like, I think of these things and I don't know where I get it from. I was born with this gift and I can't even explain, but I think differently. And then I try to think of how can I make that into something that people could use to grow their business, right?
Yeah.
So So I do that, and all I do all day long, every day, is try to think of new things. Like I'll just give you another one. I play golf, right? So I have Shantha Money is in my mastermind, and she's with this company called Banner Season, where you can get these promotional items.
I am too.
Me too. I'm with Banner Season now.
I love Banner Season.
Too. So I order golf balls that have my logo on it, Rock Your Life, and my website, craigduswalt.com. And it says, and I forget exactly how, and it says this, the ball has a little sentence on it, and it says something like this: I'm hiding from Craig Duswalt now.
Yeah.
And I sprinkle, seriously, these balls in the rough throughout Sherwood Country Club in LA, North Ranch Country Club, because most people are going to find those balls because no one's in the fairway when they play golf.
No.
So my website address is on it, my brand is on it, and a cute little saying is on it.
That's awesome.
And I just think that's just another way. Book Craig as a keynote speaker to these high-end courses.
Yep.
And I do that all day long. I throw them in the woods, I throw them in the rough, and someone will pick it up. And if I do it enough times at the same club, everyone is going to say, all right, I don't know who the hell this guy is. He sucks at golf. He's in the rough all the time, and he never finds his balls. But that will get the conversation started.
That is awesome, man.
So stuff like that.
That's so awesome. Dude, you are a real life rock star, man.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm very grateful that I had you on the show. Glenn wants us to come join him. I have a call right now. I have one a little bit,
and then I'm going to join you guys at about 12:05.
Craig, I'll send you the link, and that way you have the link to get in. But
that would be awesome.
Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for asking me. Thank you.
Stay with me if you would. I'm going to end the live stream, and you and I can chat real quick, and then. But thank you, and thank you to everybody who shared this out. If you did not share this out, shame on you.
You have a lot of good people on here. I know all your people.
I know. It's awesome, dude. You rock, bro. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks, Craig. Hang with me for a second.